right, we are back with my man Ryan in studio. I'm gonna have you say your last name for me because I was about to tell you before we started rolling, but I took my kid for the first time to the fights when you fought, and I was calling you Rizzo the whole night because apparently I didn't have my glasses on, and the shirt to me from a distance, so your family and your fans all wear these Godfather themed shirts.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Rizzo, it sounds like Italian. It's a fucking somebody's getting whacked tonight. And then my kid was like, I don't think his last name's Rizzo.
No, it's Rizco.
Rizco.
But it's funny because my whole life it's been mispronounced Rizzo or it's spelled wrong.
Is that right?
Like nobody gets it right,
Okay, so I wasn't the only one.
No, absolutely not.
All right,
no.
cool. All right, so now that we got Rizco, dude, cheers, man. You're joining me in a whiskey.
Absolutely.
This is fantastic. Thanks.
Cheers.
Good to see you. It's been a while. What do you think? You like that?
I do. Like I said, I usually drink like maybe once or twice a year. So here's my.
For real?
One. Yeah.
Oh, shit. So this better be like a really good experience for you. Otherwise, you just wasted one of the two drinks. Do you not drink because of the sport that you're in or just never been a big drinker?
Mostly because of the sport that I'm in, because I just stay busy. I feel like I'm always in a perpetual camp, always training. Like to feel sharp. And, in this game, you just got to be ready at any time,
Yeah.
And I just feel like I just don't perform. I'm not a big drinker to begin with, but I just don't perform well, like that. I just like to be more clear.
It does. So I try my hardest not to drink all week. And, like, if we drink, it's, like, on the weekends or whatever. But it's not. I try it for it not to be much. But sometimes you get stuck in these events or whatever. And then you end up drinking more. Man, by Wednesday, do I feel so goddamn good. You know what I mean?
Once
like,
it's out of your system and it's clear.
Yeah. I'm like, what? This should be the feeling every day. I feel I feel crisp and clear and not lethargic. And
me and my wife do that. Like we'll go out and we're like, you know what? We haven't gone out in a while. We haven't ate bad food in a while. Let's go have some food. Let's have some drinks. The next day we're like, we feel awful.
It feels like shit.
Yeah, we're like, why did we do this?
That's the same thing with the food, right? So like you eat like really clean and you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe it's not as fun, but you're like, I feel great.
Yeah.
And then you go and eat a heavy meal at a restaurant. You're like just bloated with fucking sodium. And feel like
you
crap.
feel like right away. Instantaneous.
I'm terrible, dude. I'm like in a I think like a 3-year slump of like shape and feeling like crap. Like I haven't been able to like just
get over that.
I don't know what it is, dude. I went to the doctors recently for it and everything, and like she looked at me like, wait, why are you here? Like, dude, it is what it is. Like you're kind of just screwed. Like keep on trying, keep on because I'm like I eat good. I'm working out, at least 5 times a week. Like, I'm not like at anybody's level, but just, I'm putting in 45 minutes of a good, intense workout every day. Nothing. The scale just stays. And
why are you so like adamant on seeing change in the scale?
Because once I get past a certain number, I feel like I start feeling way better. True. And when I don't see that number, I'm like, I'm still stuck in this shitty feeling. No wonder I don't feel great.
But would you feel better if, just say, the scale stayed the same, but physically you look dramatically different? You know what I mean?
Are you promising something that I
can
can
achieve? I'm just asking you.
No.
Am I selling you something?
I'm like, do you have a pill that I can take? Obviously. If I look better, I would feel better, I think. I don't care about the number. It really isn't about the number.
Because like when I'm done fighting, I'm never looking at a scale again.
Yeah.
Ever. Never.
Yeah. I'm with you. If I didn't have, but the thing is, I know in the back of my head, I'm like, I must be over this amount because like I'm in like 220, 215 back and forth.
And where would you be happy?
I'm very happy at like 190.
Okay.
It's not a fucking drastic amount.
Yeah.
But that's like that's when I like feel myself. Now I feel bloated. Everything's uncomfortable.
Well, the whiskey's not helping right now.
It's not, but that's your fault, bro.
I know. I can't.
I drink once a year, not twice a year, and this is my only. It doesn't help, and but then also we live one time. So.
Well, that's like the thing too. Is I feel like you got to find the balance. Like you want to be in shape, you want to feel good, but like you also want to enjoy your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like kind of hard.
It is a balance.
To find that balance. Yeah.
But I feel like if I put in like 5-6 days of like really putting my best foot forward, 2 days of a nice whiskey can't.
I agree.
Happiness wise can't be bad for you.
True. That's true.
Body wise maybe my body's saying, bro, no, stop.
Well, you have to weigh the balance of like what's more important, like mental or physical.
Yeah, I think whiskey wins.
Absolutely.
So, brother, tell me about your back. So, like, I don't know much about your career. I do know that you fell into fighting. You were a wrestler, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And you fell into fighing. More so you were training, but you fell into fighting more so because of an army situation, or a military thing. So
like originally, I was supposed to, I had some looks at for wrestling in college, playing football. Unfortunately, my senior year, I completely blew out my ACL wrestling, And they were kind of more or less saying that at that time. They're like, we don't know if you're going to be able to play sports competitively again. And I was kind of like a little lost. Going to the military was always a dream of mine. So I was like, all right, now's the time to do it. Went PT'd with, like the recruitment guys for about a year. Then finally went to MEPS. Ended up getting cleared for my knee. But then I found out that I had like a slight loss of hearing in my right ear. And it was like one of those beep tests. You kind of you hear the sound, you click the thing.
Oh, I know about those tests.
So,
bro, I fail all of them.
Do you really?
Oh my God.
And it was like one pitch. It was like one pitch I couldn't hit. And they were like, immediately you're disqualified. Sent me to like a Navy hearing specialist, put me in a soundproof room. They were like, it is what it is.
Did you always have hearing? Did you know you had hearing
No, I had
issues?
no clue. It was like a complete surprise,
What is the reason, like, how much do you have to hear in order, like, you know what I mean? Like, why is that important? It's not like it was
they were concerned that, like, just say I get some sort of job like in artillery and I'm already going with a disadvantage and then, like, getting on disability, like somewhere along those lines.
Oh,
they
like,
were just
like pre-existing history kind of condition?
Yep. So at the time, I was training at an MMA gym. I'm from South River. It's in Sayreville, New Jersey, Strategic Academy. And I was just training there just to prepare myself for boot camp. Just like, well, if I can hang with these guys, then like boot camp will be nothing.
Okay.
So I came back like right after I lost that hearing test, and I'm like, I really don't know what to do with my life right now. And they were like, well, why don't you kind of consider maybe taking a fight, like personal training, people doing stuff like that. So I did the one just as like a bucket list. Like, I'm just going to do one. Like, shit, let's do it. And then I fell in love ever since, and it just took off.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, that's kind of like not a dream scenario. I mean, you wanted to have your dream, thing in life, and you didn't get to do it. But like, that is perfect, right? So you try to do something, it didn't work out, but then somebody was there waiting for you saying like, no, try this thing, which not a lot of people get told, take a fight. Like, you should definitely take a fight.
Like, what does
I've
that
been
mean?
waiting my whole life for somebody to tell me to take a fight. Anywhere on the street. Gabby, anybody told you to take a fight?
No.
Yeah,
People
see
tell
what
me to not.
Exactly. So that was at least, that should have boosted your, right? At that moment.
No,
like,
I was excited, it was new. I just had no clue my life was going to take in that direction, and I just like, after that fight, I was like, I don't want to do anything else in my life. This is just everything I want to do right now. I kind of dropped everything. I was like in school, working full time, just like dropped everything immediately.
Do you have an addictive personality at all?
I do, absolutely. Absolutely.
I can recognize it.
I'm all in. All or nothing.
I love it. That's how I am. This is why this is, what it is. It's like, I'm all in. Gabby's like, stop spending money on the podcast. You're not making any money. I'm like, I'm all in, Gabby. Get it together. Yeah. Was your family big in the military as well?
My grandfather, both my grandfathers were in the military. A lot of other family members too.
What was the drive to want to be so badly in there?
I just felt like what better job like to serve your country. You know, I just was, I'm super patriotic. I love our country, and I have certain values. And I just felt like as a young man at 18 years old at that time, I was like, I want to serve my country for 4 years. And then going forward, like, maybe that'll be it. Maybe I'll come out. Maybe it'll make it a career thing. But I just wanted to do that before I did anything else in life. I think it's like this, hardest job you can have in the world. And, these guys don't get enough support, especially in today's climate. So that's just all I wanted to do was like either going to play sports in college or, I'm going to join the military.
Yeah. Do you think that's kind of lost these days in this country? Like, people don't have that drive?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? 'Cause that's more like an old school thing, like to be like, so. Proud and want to go out there and serve.
Absolutely.
I
feel like that was like the thing you did growing up, back in the day, you know, before you did anything else. Like, you served your country, and then you came out and you started a family and you built a house and you built a career and a community, but that was always like the first thing you did.
Yeah. I'm not totally against the countries who make you serve like 2 years.
I'm not either.
That's not a terrible. First of all,
I don't think so either.
A lot of shitheads would get they would get straightened out.
I think so too.
Don't you think?
I think so too.
The pride in the country would be a lot bigger. It would be more across the board, not just groups of people who are fighting for all the freedoms and all this stuff. I'm talking like very patriotic. I think you're influencing.
Make sure, get a shot of the flag behind it.
You know that I had a guy who tormented me one night via Instagram about how dare I, you saw that? Mm-hmm. I was going back and forth. How dare I have this American flag bunched up on the bottom? That was like, that I would do anything for like, to look cool, but not like respect. And I'm like, first of all, I was like, I don't know who this guy is. And I appreciate the fact that he's concerned about it. I wasn't trying to disrespect anybody. I'm like, I have low ceilings, bro. Like, that's the only reason why it's bunched up. Yeah. I'm like, any suggestions? And he was like, horizontal. And I'm like, all right, this fucking guy. I'm like, I know, but that would look like shit. And I'm like, well.
How could you even see that from behind? You know what I mean?
Because he saw a picture, I think, that she took of like the guest picture where she's standing up. definitely spending too much time looking.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Or actually,
Digging,
it was the
digging.
Chris Dawkins UFC thing when they were here,
Oh, yeah,
and they
yeah.
did like a behind the scenes. Anyway, does that offend you in any way for it to be
not me
touching the story?
personally, no. I mean,
I said, listen, this is my my wife's grandfather's flag. Like,
is it really?
it is, yeah.
wow.
So I was actually looking for flags for the show because I love that look. And after looking at a ton, my mother-in-law was like, I think I have the old box. So she had that and she had this one.
That's
she got
really
them
cool.
both.
Really, really cool.
And then that's my grandfather's. It's all like things, family things.
Yeah.
I'm like, what better way to honor them and to get a good vibe in here? So basically, all the shit in here is all either mine or family.
That's really cool.
But anyway, what does your family do? Like, what does mom and dad do? How was the dynamic growing up?
Well, my mom, she's a nurse. She's an RN. She worked in pediatrics, intensive care unit, the whole nine with that. But then a while now, like definitely over 10 years, she's been working in corrections as a nurse in correction facilities.
Really?
So she was an adult. Now she's in with more juvenile. And my father's a merchant marine, transporting oil, stuff like that.
You got two badass parents. I'm not fucking with either of those. No wonder you want it, right? Mm-hmm. Merchant Marine is like very respected as like a tough guy's kind of career, isn't it? Or am I wrong?
I would say. I mean, he went away for 2 weeks, came home for 2 weeks. You know, like my whole childhood.
Yeah.
He was away in the boat, and then he would come home. But it was
Yeah.
cool because it's like when he was away, like yeah, it sucked. I didn't get to see him. But when he came home, it was cool because he was just like full-time dad mode. You know,
Right.
like really involved in everything. But then you have to go away, which in turn kind of taught me like responsibility as like a young
Yeah.
kid. You know what I mean? Kind of like have to hold it down. You know, stuff like that.
Because he was a good dad, though. I'm sure
Yeah,
a lot of guys
absolutely.
would do that and then come home and be a shitty dad. And
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
Just-
Now he came home. He was like, you know, obviously my mom, you know, she worked a lot when he was away in the boat. You know, she had to pick it up, and she was full time, you know, mom duty. And when he came home, was like, all right, you held it down. Like, let me hold
going
it
out.
down for you. You
I'm
no,
going
no.
out. Call the girls.
Yeah, yeah.
It's your turn, motherfucker. No, that's hilarious. So you get along with your parent, like good family. You get
Yeah,
along with your
yeah,
parents.
yeah.
Any siblings?
I have a sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
I
she
have an
do?
older sister. She's working right now in a dentist's office. You know?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're all really super close. You know, me, my sister, my parents. You know,
That's great, man.
my wife, she's like best friends with with my mom and my dad. It's just we all kind of fit in real well together.
That's awesome. That's all you can ask for, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Your mom's job is no piece of cake.
No. She's a hard woman, man. She's a hard woman.
You have to be.
It's funny too because my parents are almost like reversed roles. You know, like the dad's usually like really into like the son sports. Like not saying that my dad's not, but he's kind of like more of like a hippie, kind of like do what you love. You know what I mean? If you love fighting, like go for it. But like if you want to, you know, play guitar, whatever, just find what you love in life. My mom's like,
Fuck them up.
oh my god, dude, she's nuts. You know.
Really?
She's nuts with it. She's awesome. You know, ever since I was a kid, you know,
That's
anything I
cool.
played, she was just like super supportive, super into it. You know, she's the one calling me like, you know, did you get a run in today? Like, you know, are you still eating healthy? You know, like, are
Really?
you going to a boxing gym? You know, like you're hitting the weights. Like, she's like super involved.
I feel like she needs to start calling me once a week to motivate me.
Yeah, no, seriously.
This is all I've been
Seriously.
needing. That's hilarious. I know two brothers who are friends with the family who both did the whole detention, whatever, corrections officer. They never talked good about it. Like they were saying that shit's no joke.
Oh yeah,
Like,
because it's like, you know, you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile. You know, what I mean, you got to be on your.
They
shit,
both
you know?
have like anxiety issues from it. They both retired from
Corrections
it.
officers?
Corrections
Yeah,
officers. They
yeah.
both retired with like major anxiety issues, and like they just. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Because
Maybe
if you think about it, like you're getting locked up too every day.
yeah,
You're in that
and they were I think in
environment.
Camden, so I don't think that helped. Yeah, but I think like one of them they like threw soap. They threw some shit on the floor, so that way when they were going after him, they slipped and he fucked up his back.
Jesus.
And then like. I'm like, why would you? I mean, I'm no disrespect to your mom. Why would you want to incarcerate yourself for a living?
Yeah, I think the adult part of it was like kind of wearing on her a little bit. So now she's in more the juvenile department. She's in like a boys' home. So I feel like she's actually I know she feels like she's making more of a difference.
Impact.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. Well, that
'Cause
makes
it's like,
sense.
You know, it's like younger kids, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
she's definitely making more of an impact there. Sometimes with the adults, it's like, you know, sometimes people don't change. You know,
Yeah, lost fucking cause.
absolutely. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So when you took the one fight, you weren't sure you were going to do it again.
No.
Was your family supportive?
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
they were supportive. Like I said, a big part of just me playing sports growing up, you know, was just bringing my family joy. You know, having everybody get together and have something to look forward to and cheer for. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that was always like a big motivational tool for me. just growing up. So then when I got into fighting, it was like awesome because they thought like my sports career was done. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm in a cage fighting. So it's like, you know, my mom, my dad, my sister, they were all about it.
You
know,
leveled
like,
it up. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
they're
now
just
the
like, I'm
excitement level is.
I'm like, how can I make this more crazy? You know,
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
going to go into a cage half naked and fight people, you know, for money.
yeah, what's next? No. So how long ago was that?
That was 2013.
Okay. So at that point when you say, all right, this is all I'm all in, this is all I'm going to focus on from now on, when do you start feeling like it's a career? When do you know what I mean? Like when do you, now you're an athlete, this is your
Definitely like when I was kind of on the cusp of going pro, that's when I was like, okay, like, you know, this is career move right now, you know.
Yeah.
I had to make some changes and flip things around, and I was like, all right, we're going to go even more all in, you know. A lot of my coaches had have a Henzo Gracie background, you know.
Yeah.
So eventually just found myself going into the city. Used to go just like once or twice a week just to get some extra training in, and then that turned into like a full-time gig too. So I ended up commuting to the city to Henzo's for like 5 years. And around that time was probably when I was like, okay, this is like a career move. Like this is what I'm going to do, you know?
Okay. And how do you feel you're at right now career wise? What's the next thing that you're just itching for?
Well, I was kind of like, you know, obviously disappointed with my last fight, but the problem is I feel like, you know, a lot of guys pad their records, you know. You know, they fight. You look at a guy's record, you see guys like 8-0, 6-0, 5-0, whatever, and then you look at the records of the opponents they're facing, you're kind of like, this is a little suspect.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be one of those guys, you know. I was like, you know, if I have a perfect record, fine, that's great, but if I don't, like, I want people to look at my record and see the level of competition I'm fighting. So this past year I had 4 fights in 12 months. And everybody, I think the last 3 out of the last 4 guys I fought were like undefeated top prospect guys that nobody else wanted to fight. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be the guy to step in and fight. You know what I mean? Like, if my record's not perfect, that's fine. But I need to figure out who I am now. Because then when I get to the big stage, it's like, I don't want to find out there, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to pad my record. I always wanted to take the harder fights because I feel like that's how you get noticed faster, you know? If you're taking harder fights against tougher competition and you're putting those guys away, it's like, now you're undeniable. Now people can't look another way, you know?
And to your point, the last thing you want to do is have a good record, go in the UFC, have one fight, look like shit.
Yeah, man.
You're going to have another one. They're going to give you another one.
Absolutely.
But, you know, like, where are we at with this? Like, are you going to, succeed? You're much better off taking the hard road.
Yeah, I'm not scared of failure. I'm really not. I'm like, I'm going to get to where I want to be regardless, you know.
But then also you have to be careful because
no, I know. I
don't want to see you in here, 12-5.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. So now I'm at a point now where I'm like, okay, maybe I'm going to manage it, you know.
You got to be strategic with it.
Yeah, I got to be a little bit more strategic. But it's like, you know, some people, they just get the easy route. I have a hard time just turning down fights. They send me somebody, I'm like, cool, give me the contract.
Because you probably get excited too. Like,
absolutely, because the challenge is going to elevate me, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Every fight coming up, do you see that as like, are you pumped because you see it as a life changer or the potential for it to change your life?
Absolutely.
That's got to be the most thrilling part of this whole thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like with every episode, I'm like, this is the one. So to compare it, you got to be like, this next fight could be the one that gives me the call. It could be 100%. The one that everybody, you know, I do some fucking crazy knockout and everybody just is going nuts and
viral.
Was that go viral, right?
Well, like you know, the fight before this one, I had a finish against a really good guy. I think it's going to go up for, you know, it's going to be a candidate for submission of the year. And I was like, okay, I'm right at the point now where if I get one more good win, this could be the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't get the result I wanted. So it's like, you know, you work up and then you get, it's like, but you just play the game, you know?
Yeah. So is there anything in the horizon?
Probably early next year.
Okay.
Like I said, I fought a lot this year, so like I'm gonna take some time, enjoy my family. You know, I never take time off training. It's not like I'm gonna take some time and go like fuck around. It's like that. That's not the case.
Get a little fat, bro. Why not?
I can't. No,
come on.
I've already cut enough.
You said you don't want to look at the scale. You're saying no. Save that for later for retirement.
Struggle the weight cut. That's what he needs.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So then next year, big fight, big performance, and kind of hopefully.
Yeah,
start
you know,
getting
and
the
then
eyeballs.
it's cool because maybe I'll get 2 in and then try to get on the contender series by the next fall. You know,
how does that work? So you say that. So I not a lot of people, but I've talked to people who have said the same kind of thing. What makes you want to do that? Is that is that a career path that you can choose to be in the contender series?
You kind of get called for that.
So it's the same thing as they didn't call for the UFC, or no?
Pretty much. I mean, obviously, I would prefer to just get called to the UFC. Because then you're already in there. You're not really fighting for a contract. You kind of just get your contract.
Yeah.
So I would prefer that route, even if it's short notice. So like, hey, we need a 55er on 1 week's notice, but it's going to get you in the door. fine, let's do it. You
Okay.
know. But it seems that the Contender Series right now is the route that they're giving most people.
Yeah.
And if not, like I said, it's like something like a guy got injured. It's a last minute call.
Was Petrosky in the Contender Series or the other one?
Yeah.
What's the other one called?
No, he was Ultimate Fighter.
See,
my
I always
bad.
mix them
Yeah.
up. So so Ultimate Fighter is the reality show.
Yeah, yeah.
The Contender Series is just like
It's like a job interview.
matchups,
Yeah.
and then the winner
Yeah.
gets the contract kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like you're not guaranteed a contract, what kind of sucks. You know, like I cornered Sidney Outlaw on season 1 of the Contender Series, and like he didn't get a contract. He had an all-star performance. You know,
Yeah.
that was the same night actually that Sean O'Malley fought for the first time, and
he got all the
he had
buzz.
like a walk-off home run, so it was like all the eyes were on him. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's kind of like luck of the draw, who's on the card, how many contracts.
And that's
are
like,
given.
is Dana White like, is he in a good mood? Is
No,
he,
for
you know
real.
what I mean?
No,
like
literally.
it's a very personal choice for,
Yeah,
for that.
absolutely.
Why are you shaking your head over there?
No, I watched an episode and he was like, yeah, you had a good performance, but
No,
thought
today.
you could have been better.
I forget who it was, but there was 2 guys he had on, and they banged out. The one dude, I forget his name, but he literally was like pissing blood before the fight, like not feeling like well, like something with his weight cut, and he went in and still put out a crazy performance. In the last 10 seconds of the fight, he shoots in for a takedown just to play it safe because he already had it in the bag.
Yeah.
Like, why risk getting knocked out? And Dana White's like, you're not getting a contract
Because of that.
because of that. So it's kind of like,
What a dick, bro.
like imagine that you go through all that just to hear this guy be like, oh, like you don't want it enough. Like really?
I don't want it enough. Yeah.
Crazy.
Go check the
No, he
the blood
posted
in the-
something on Instagram afterwards. I was like, dude, I'm pissing blood before the fight. Like, don't tell me I don't want it enough, you know?
What does one piss blood before a fight?
Probably
Weight cut?
kidneys, something like that, yeah.
Fun.
Not fun.
Jesus Christ. You guys are nuts. Well, dude, I obviously wish you the best. I think, I'm excited to see you fight on your next one, but I think you have the right mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have good mentalities, but like you have, I think, a good overarching mentality, which is you're not taking the easy way out. You want to challenge yourself. You see some prospect things that you could do, but you're also not stressed about that. You're kind of like, whatever falls on my plate, I'm gonna tackle.
That's all you can do, you know?
And you got the family support, which
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Speaking of the UFC, your thoughts on the fights this weekend? Any? We'll break them down, but like in general, because it's not. If it wasn't for our guys, our Philly guys being on it, it's not a
Yeah.
great card.
No, it's not. It's not, but
Why is Meisha Tate headlining this card?
I feel like they should just have Chiesa and Brady headline
Be
it,
them. That's
honestly.
my point. Exactly.
Honestly.
And not because of Brady, being local, but like Meisha Tate is not doing anything recent. I mean, she had one fight after that huge layoff, and she won by submission. Is that what it was?
No, I
think
think it was decision.
Even worse.
I remember I watched it.
Was this one of those fights that was like this like Holly Holm or something that got scrapped and then they gave it to Meisha?
I don't know. I remember watching her last fight. I
Oh
just
no,
don't.
TKO,
TKO.
round 3.
Okay.
Listen, I like Meisha Tate, but this fight does nothing for me
Yeah.
as far as getting excited.
I'm just excited for Sabatini and for.
So have you ever trained it with the Philly guys at all?
No, I haven't. But we're in a the MMA community is small,
Yeah.
so it's like you see these guys around. Sean's been in the city before. He was cornering some guys backstage with the same my last fight. He was back there, so
Yeah.
he's like a guy who's like
He cornered everybody.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
I'm like, does Brady want to fight? Why the fuck is he in the octagon so much today?
He's like one of the only guys that has like an undefeated record that like he didn't pad. Like you look at his record, like
Yeah.
he's fought tough guys like the whole way through.
Yeah.
Like he earned that record.
And for those who don't know, it's 14, right? 14-0.
Yeah.
Like the mother, he hasn't lost anything.
Not even amateur.
No
that's what I'm
amateurs,
saying. He's
nothing.
like he's the exception there because it's like you see guys with undefeated records and you like go on Tapology, you scroll down, you're like, he's fighting a 1-5 guy or some weird promotion out in like Ohio, but he's not. He's always fought tough competition.
And it doesn't seem like the pressure really gets to him too, because I feel like if my having a perfect, you almost want to have one loss.
yeah,
You know
so
what I'm
get
saying?
out of the way.
Yeah, because I feel like the pressure to fuck
Yeah.
with that zero, it's
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot going in there.
This is a great fight for him because it's it's like a good name to fight. Jump up in competition. It's good.
I
I
think
think he's gonna take it for chure.
you think so?
Yeah, because I feel like Chiesa is like he's either hot or he's not. And I like my Chiesa a lot. I do.
I didn't realize he's been in the UFC for like 10 years already.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he used to have the long hair and everything.
He used to have the long hair.
Now he's like an analyst.
Yeah. So I was never, I don't know. I try so hard not to hate on people. I swear to God. I've never been a huge fan of Kiesa. I mean, I respect him. Like, I like I do like his skills and what he's able to do, but he's never like got me excited too much. Like, I've never been like, I gotta watch a Kiesa fight.
What about that when he fought Kevin Lee? There was a little hype on that when they got into it a little bit at the press conference.
Yeah, no, like that stuff works for me. I'm in for that. But like in general, and then like as a commentator, I think he's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's good.
He's good.
He's good as a commentator.
He's likable.
Yeah.
You know who I don't like as a commentator? Bilal. Bilal Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Yeah.
I haven't heard him on there.
Dude.
Is he an analyst or a commentator?
He does the post show.
Yeah.
Like the big fancy desk. It's him.
Okay.
And it's like, I think the last one it was him and Anthony Smith and then the girl, which I forgot her name. But I don't know. He doesn't look like he belongs in that setting. Like to me, DC's fantastic.
Oh, he's the best.
Right? Like
The best.
doesn't get much better than that. He's enjoyable. He's funny. He's likable. He breaks shit down perfectly.
Yeah.
You obviously respect the guy from his career. But Kiesa said that. And Paul Felder's great as well.
That's true too.
Except when he disses or dismisses. What does he do with the local fighters when they're there?
Well,
Or plays them out.
yeah.
Plays them
You
out.
think so?
Well,
little
he hung Andre to dry. I will not let
Did
that
he
go.
really?
Oh my lord! Yeah,
Did he
Andre went
really?
in there with the stupidest line ever, with the whole Jeff Bezos going into space. We don't have to repeat this because it's a terrible.
I kind of want you to
He made-
now.
So
Basically,
this, Gabby, tell him the story.
no. So basically, after his last fight, he said Paul Felder comes in the octagon for the post-fight interview, and Andre, no setup, goes, "Next person who steps in this octagon with me, I call Jeff Bezos because they're going into orbit." Like,
Oh wow.
Terrible.
and then Paul Felder just silent.
No, and then he said, "Well, all right, you seem to be very excited," or some shit like that.
Yeah,
and like,
and then he's like, "Who are you looking at?" Like,
right.
But don't they have some sort of connection? Like, aren't they like?
Well,
like, Paul's like
Felder's the Philly guy and the whole deal.
You think
but
he would be kind of like
I thought he would be
give him
like
some softballs,
right, right. And I also feel like sometimes when Felder, by the way, I want to have Felder on the show, so I shouldn't talk shit about him, but it is what it is. I feel like a lot of people bring up the fact that, hey, like this must be one of your guys because he's from Philly and and he's kind of always like, yeah. But I think it's because they just assume that and he doesn't actually train with them.
True.
Like Petrosky hasn't been in that group for that long, so I don't think he ever trained with Felder. I could be wrong.
I don't know either.
I know Brady
Yeah,
has.
absolutely.
I'm talking all sorts of shit that I don't know about. I apologize. I apologize. I just feel like I would love to see Felder in there and be like, that's my guy.
Yeah. I feel
Sorry.
like if he's commentating this weekend, I feel like he's going to do that with Sabatini and Brady.
Yeah, I think he has a good connection with him, so I would expect that. But it's like, it's okay. In my opinion, it's okay to break the journalism rules a little bit and go for your guy.
I think so too.
I would admire that more.
I mean, you kind of have to at that point.
Yes. When DC cornered, or not cornered, did he corner it too? No, he commentated, was it the Khabib fight or something? And he said that he wouldn't do the fighter meetings beforehand because he didn't want to share anything with the other fighter or anything that could jeopardize somebody that he cared about, like Khabib. I'm like, all right, I fucking respect
They're
that.
super close.
Right.
Super close.
But that's what you do.
Yeah. True.
You say, listen, I'm going to do my job and I'm going to try to like, find a way to do what I have to do while at the same time, respect my guy and but anyway, I digress. All right, let's make some quick fight picks here. Gabby, you want to set us up?
Yeah. So, what main event? I know.
Are we going top down or bottom up?
We'll do top down and we'll skip around because we can. Let's start with the top.
I don't know much about the other girl.
Yeah.
So I feel like default, I'm going Meisha Tate.
Yeah.
What's she ranked? I can't see.
Number
that.
7.
Okay.
So it's 7 and 8.
Okay.
Who's 8? Meisha Tate?
Yeah.
But is that number real? Because she was gone forever. So how do you go immediately back to 8?
Well, she had the last fight. I don't know what the last girl was ranked.
Well, what's the betting line? Because I would assume Meisha is the favorite.
Now,
She's plus 105.
yeah, she's an under.
Oh, she's the underdog.
Yeah.
See, now I want her to win.
Okay. I was going to say, I'll go with the other girl then.
Yeah. So if you know anything about me, is that as soon as you become an underdog, that's exactly what I'm going to go for you. There's
I like
something
that.
about the
Wow.
underdog that I immediately gravitate
Canelo.
towards.
Wow.
Huh?
Canelo.
Yeah, I go against Canelo with every fight.
You went for Caleb Plant?
Oh yeah.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah. Everybody calls me a clown.
It was
It's
funny
all
because I
right.
saw it after the fact. I was like, okay.
See, it doesn't age well. It doesn't age well.
We put more content on, just drown it out.
Listen, like I told somebody in the comments, I am not scared to like have an unpopular opinion. Listen, this is my
like
show.
it.
I said whatever the fuck I want.
That's true.
Meisha Tate, I think her hype train is done after this. I think she loses and then she wraps it up.
I can see that. I can see that.
I'm gonna go for her.
If she takes a hard L, maybe.
It's like she's flying high right now because she came back. She looks great, by the way. She talk about getting back in shape and like coming back better than ever. So she looks phenomenal. But I'm gonna go for her, but I think she loses.
Fair enough.
Take that for what it is. All right. Now, what we are all excited for. This is a big week if you're a Philly fight fan. Sean Brady takes on Michael Chiesa in what I think is a much better setup for Sean Brady to become the superstar that everybody says he's going to be, because Kiesa is a very well-known and respected fighter and probably the most popular name Sean Brady has fought yet. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think Sean subs him.
Yeah.
I really do, because his jiu-jitsu is super legit, and Michael Chiesa, I mean, he's a grappler as well, but it's like he's susceptible to getting subbed out sometimes.
Yeah, he got subbed last fight.
Yeah.
That would be embarrassing for him to get subbed twice in a, not embarrassing, but
I'm saying if Sean has a skill set to do it, you know,
he's going against the wrong guy.
Exactly.
If he wanted to avoid the same outcome as he last had. I think I called it. I think I made an early prediction last week that Brady gets the sub in round 2.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
that's a good call.
Right?
That's a good call.
I feel like they're going to have to feel each other out a little bit. Respect. You know, Brady's actually been out after the foot injury too for a while. So he might need a little bit of a.
I think his last fight he got the sub in the 3rd round.
Okay. You know what I'd love to see him is strike a little more, just to show that.
If he knocks somebody out,
You know what I'm saying? Wait, you're saying that you would like that?
I would like that.
Yeah, because the thing is that I think people respect him all around, but I think people expect him to submit people.
I think his striking is it's clean, it's tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Chiesa kind of is a little bit looser with it. I can see him catching him. You know.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, he could.
So there's kind of no way he loses this fight? Is that what we're saying?
That's what we're saying.
In
I don't
our
really see him
opinion?
losing. Like, I don't see him getting decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see him getting subbed, and I don't see him and I don't think Kiesa's the guy to KO him. You know.
Right. Yeah, that
So
would be a
it's like-
shocker. Yeah.
I really don't see him losing this one.
All right, so we're all in agreement. We are going for Mr. Sean Brady.
Yeah.
By submission.
Who does he fight after this fight? That's the question. Does he get
What's
Kazmat Shabajev?
That's not a bad call out though. That's not a
The
bad
guy
call
has
out.
all the hype, and nobody wants to fight him.
That's not a bad call out. Yeah.
I mean,
What's
he.
that?
I don't know. He probably.
He's number 10 too.
He's ranked, right?
Yeah, he's number 10.
So Brady's what? 14.
He's 14, yeah.
So that's a step up.
yeah.
Well, no, but Kiesa's like 7 or something.
6.
Yeah.
So he'll move up. He'll move up.
But it's a smart business decision because
so, too.
your brand is going to grow tremendously if you, the guy who everybody's scared of, who's just taking people out first rounds. By the way, I think he's gotten hit twice in his UFC career.
Yeah, I think he's special, but I want to see him tested a little bit against a guy
Right.
in the top 10.
Right.
You know,
And I don't know if Brady is the one that should. I think I actually heard him say something in an interview today. I think I heard Brady. They asked him about that matchup, and he said, "Well, the UFC can either put us on a collision course and let us all kind of peak a little bit more, or they can just aim us now and just get one of us out of the way." I'm not mad at that.
Not mad at that either.
You know, I agree with those
Yeah.
2 comments.
I would say either let them both build and then create the ultimate rival fight.
Right.
In a couple of
Right. Because
years.
everybody else on top, like everybody else above Kiesa, are all big names.
Yeah.
It's
I feel like
just
it's a good fight because I feel like Kazmat is like, he's number 10. All those guys above him, it's kind of like a lose-lose for you because if you beat him, it's like you don't really gain anything from that.
Right.
But if you lose, it's
Right. It's like a perfect case scenario for Sean Brady,
absolutely, yeah.
who we know is going to be big, but he's still kind of got to
Bro,
work
and
his
chase
way
the
there.
payday right now. You know what
I
I
know.
mean?
I know.
You're going to move up in rankings. You're going to
Yeah.
get paid. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
And also, you're probably not going to be sitting on the sidelines that long because if you go, let's say, so above him is Masvidal, it's Leon Edwards, it's all these people. You're going to be waiting forever to fight these guys.
yeah.
That's
And I
You're
feel
not-
like a lot of
So
those
many
guys, too, are more interested in, like, super fights and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I think so here I'm going to make a prediction on who the next matchup could be. Kazma, if he wants to go for the huge hype build up kind of thing, I think that's a smart decision. or Luque. Luque is a great test because once you get past Kiesa and Luque, there is no doubt that you're in the top 5 conversation.
He's high though. Luque's like 4 right now.
I know.
But he's fighting
But after
6.
Kiesa, Kiesa's 7.
Who's he fighting?
Chiesa is 6. So
Oh, okay.
if he beats
Oh,
him,
that's true. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
you have to go up, and Luque is a perfect matchup. And Luque is a badass.
Yeah, he's good. I think when he
like Luque.
because he subbed Chiesa, right? That was him.
That was the last fight.
Yeah, so it's like he's
You're
just
right.
showing that he's dangerous everywhere because everyone just thought of him as like a striker,
And I think he's like
Or he subbed Woodley, or is it Woodley he subbed, or both of them?
I don't know. Let's go for it. Why not? I know he got beat by Wonder Boy,
Yeah,
which was impressive for Wonder Boy.
yeah.
That was like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
And he
all right,
kinda
now we're
stood
talking.
with him too. I was like, wow, did not expect that.
Nope.
Did not expect that at all.
See, Luque is like the opposite of Kiesa. See, it's like a guy he's not huge, right? He's not like a big star.
the silent assassin is his nickname.
That's a terrible nickname. What's your nickname?
I don't have one now.
Okay, good.
I'm not gonna give myself one. You know what I mean?
I know. I hear that's something that somebody has to give
Yeah.
you. The Panther. No. Just throwing things out there. Anyway, Luque is somebody that I like look forward to seeing when he's on a card. Even
Yeah,
if
me
he's,
too.
Even
me
if he's
too.
not
yeah.
huge. you
Yeah,
know?
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Woodley and Chiesa,
Yeah, both
last
by
two fights.
submission.
both subs. Yeah.
What are his only losses? There are 2 losses there?
Stephen Thompson and Leon Edwards.
All right.
Shit.
All right. So fair enough. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So that's my prediction. Those 2 guys, one of those 2 guys is going to be Brady's next fight. Why don't we jump down to Joanne Calderwood?
Wood versus Santos.
Who was Santos last fight? Did she fight Caitlyn last?
Chukagian?
Yeah.
I don't
Was that the girl she fought?
I don't know. I like Calderwood, though. There's something about her that I like.
Modaferi?
Oh. Matafari? Is that what it is?
That's probably it.
Matafari?
Modafari.
She's
So
been on a slump.
I got to train with Joanne a little bit. I went up to TriStar for a week.
Okay.
And she was there, and it was just like one of those weird things where I was at the gym and I was like, kind of want to go to TriStar. They called. They're like, you can go. Like there's availability. So like the next day, like I just packed my car and just drove to Canada, showed up at TriStar. And I'm like, I'm here. And you're in a different country, you don't know anybody, and her and a small group of other people were like very like received me very well, like make sure like I was involved in things outside of practice, like very nice person.
So my
very cool.
instincts of being likable are right.
I mean, I don't know like how to
She also reminds me when she talks of like a sweet old lady. Is that weird? So for real.
Yeah.
It's the accent.
It's like you're like, oh, you're gonna read me a bedtime story.
Yeah,
There's something sweet about her. I don't know.
she's tough. You know what I mean? She's tough.
No, I'm not saying she's
no,
not
I
tough
know,
because she
I know,
reads
but
me a
I'm saying
bedtime story.
She's not gonna go.
I'm gonna ride for her. Is she the underdog or
I'm
no?
pretty sure she is.
Perfect.
Yeah, because she lost her last fight.
Yeah.
All right, so then why don't we jump to Pat Sabatini? I think he's headlining the prelims.
Who else?
You know Pat? You don't know Pat?
Not like that, no. But we're just like we fought on the same card. CFFC, same thing with Sean.
Pat's a beast, man.
He's another guy. He's good everywhere. You know what I mean? And his last fight just showed his durability because it's like he got clipped, went down, ends up subbing the guy with heel hook off his back. It's just like he's dangerous everywhere.
I think he's a little too hard on himself.
Oh, after that performance, he was upset, right?
He's a little too hard on himself.
Yeah.
He hates everything he does. I'm like, dude,
But you
you're
kind
good.
of, you
You're
have
good.
to be that way. Though.
I know.
You
I
can't.
agree. I agree.
I told him after, I was like, genuinely, once you were on the ground and closed your eyes, I was like, it's done for that guy.
Yep.
Because he literally just
Yeah, he channels the darkness.
He's like, I felt the heel.
What's his nickname? Isn't it the Python or some bad, horrible, terrible name?
Pat the Python.
Dude, he's like a huge inspiration for especially just like local guys on the circuit because it's like he was ready to go. Then he has that fight where the guy stepped in 1 week's notice, ends up breaking his arm in horrific fashion,
and
just comes back, wins the title, and like gets called UFC, and it was it's just awesome to see that. You know, super inspiring.
No, he's very. I don't know. We know how we know him, but I feel like he's very deserving of the opportunity.
He's another guy. You know what I mean? Fought anybody. To get to the top. Never turned down fights. Fought tough fights. Like I love that.
Who's the silent assassin? Is that Moreno? I feel like that should be his nickname, Sabatini.
That guy,
gonna steal the nickname.
That guy Terrence McKinney, I want to see him fight too because he's got the fastest KO.
We go back and forth a lot, and he wants to come on the show, and I invited him, And then I didn't realize he's across the country.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, bro, when are you going to be in Philly? And he's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, where are you located? I'm like, oh, damn, bro.
Could you do like a virtual one?
Yeah, no, we could, but I'd like to get people in here. Yeah, but I actually talked to him today and asked that. I'm like, you want to jump on? Because he's a Kiesa guy. I'm like, you want to jump on and talk about your fight and also tell me how our boy's going to lose?
That is cool.
And he's like, maybe after the fight. I'm like, all right, bro, whatever.
He doesn't want beef.
But he has you know what? He wants to be on Rogan. That's the problem. I don't think he wants to do many podcasts unless it's Rogan. Because he has that crazy story where they like found him, he like slid his neck or some crazy.
Yeah.
And he then bounced back.
Another inspiring story. It's awesome.
Dude, listen, that's the fight game has a lot of those. And that's why it's fucking pretty cool. What did you think of Chandler and
awesome.
And Gaethje?
Awesome.
Fun fucking fight,
I'm
right?
just like, just want to thank them for that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's funny. I was watching it with people, and they're like, "Why don't you fight like that?" I'm like, "Do you know how much these guys are getting paid? Don't me $500,000. I'll go out there and fight like that every time."
Are these friends of yours? They're not very good friends. Why don't you fight like that? Do you love me?
I'm like, I'm not fighting for a regional, show and win salary.
I need to be able to speak before I get to the UFC.
The fight played out how I thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that Chandler was gonna wrestle a little bit better, but at that point, I feel like he just blew his load and he was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh
my God! And speak of, we'll wrap it up in a second. But how about Max Holloway and Yair?
Great fight. I missed it. I was at my cousin's.
It'd be funny if that's where you ended.
Yeah.
Great fight. I missed it.
Yeah. Cut.
Good night.
Yeah. I was at my cousin's bachelor party, and my wife was home, and she's like, "You're missing it. She's texting me. So like, I came home, and like the next day, that's the first thing I did was watch.
Bro, so that one and the Gaethje Chandler one are like, you want to show somebody why they should care about fighting? Maybe show them those. Like fucking heart, man. Good people, very embracing of each other at the end.
Max's durability is just fucking insane, dude.
He already has a little bit of a slur.
You think so? I think so.
Just.
But I'm like, when's it gonna go though? Because it's just like he takes one to give one consistently, and it's just like, God, dude.
Well, I appreciate him for what he gives us, and I've always rode high on Yair, and I'm just happy that he came back after 2 years and didn't look like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't have won that fight anyway because he's been gone that long. So
I feel like both of those fights, like the Chandler one and the Max one, they're both like there's like both guys.
They both win.
Yeah. You don't see it as a loss.
I agree.
Like both guys win on that.
I agree. I think that's the last that we see of those type of fights for the rest of the year.
Think so?
Yeah. I think those are perfect storms. We don't get to see those that often, man. So
thank the MMA gods.
Yeah, exactly. Until Dawkins, KOs, Derek Lewis. That's the next week.
That's gonna be.
Yeah, but that's like impactful. That's not like
that's
they're not going to go to war. If they go to war,
they're
going to come back with fucking no teeth or brains.
Yeah.
All right, Gabby, let's wrap this bad boy up. Brother, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, man. All right, man.